You know, I want to say, before I get into the meat of this video, that you may hear a lot of jets flying overhead as I record this video. And that's simply because there is a air show for the holiday. And because I can't go and tell them to hold off until I record this video, it is what it is. But before I get into what I want to deal with, there's something that I feel needs to be said concerning a video that I know a lot of you were looking for. There you go. I sent out a tweet and I mentioned a video that I was going to do concerning Don Sour Lemon of cable Negro News. And what I was going to deal with was the problem that I have with him being an openly gay male lecturing black boys about manhood and masculinity. I just have a problem with that. And I find that to be every bit as hypocritical as on the other end of the spectrum. You have all of these black female political pundits who are always making the rounds whenever there's a hot racial issue. You'll find these broads making the rounds talking about black issues, black men, black crime, and yada, yada, yada. Yet and still, the majority of these women are married to either white men or Asian men. I got a problem with that. Not that I have a problem with interracial dating. I could care less. I have a problem when these sisters, your Deneen Borellis, your Harris Faulkners, your Arthel Nevilles, and others, even some brothers, who are married to white men or white women, yet you always find them commenting on black issues. I got a problem with that. And I was going to do a video on it. I'm going to do a video on it. But I'm going to put that off because there's still some information that I'm looking at. There's still some stuff that I want to gather before I actually make that video. So those of you who are looking for that video, just know that it's forthcoming. There's just a little bit more information that I want to gather so that I can further strengthen my argument. But in this video here, I want to address something that was brought to my attention by a female who, I'm not going to say her name because I don't know if she really wants me to mention her name or to mention her email address. But this sister sent me a very long email. And if I'm going to ask her and if she will okay it, then I will make that email available for you to read it for yourself, because you'll see what she was asking me was something that I've asked Negroes in most of these videos. And when she asked me this question, we began to go back and forth, and we had a dialogue centering around the original question being, why is it that black men refuse to take a stand and defend their communities? And when she asked me this question, I replied back to her. And I tried to inform, listen, this is the same thing that I've been asking these brothers in most of these videos. I can't, for the life of me, I do not understand. And I've said this, I've been very consistent, and because I believe that repetition is a mother of skill, I'm going to say it again. it is okay that we don't agree. There is no written mandate that because we are all black, we have to think alike on every issue. Where the Afro-American Negro derives this insane logic is beyond me. For you can look throughout the sojourn of black people throughout this nation in their history. You've always had differences of opinion. And I don't care what the Negro says about Martin and Malcolm and at the end of their life, how they were coming together. I don't buy that. But what you see in Martin and Malcolm is you see a difference of opinion. What you saw with W.E.B. Du Bois and Booker T. Washington was a difference of opinion. There's nothing wrong with having a difference of opinion. That's fine. It can be fruitful, it can be helpful. But for some odd reason, and I already know the source, and I might touch upon it in this video. For some odd reason, the Afro-American Negro believes that if you are black, you have to think this way on every issue that pertains to black people. Whenever you cross the line and think for yourself and develop your own position, develop your own outlook, immediately these Negroes who have sipped the purple cyanide-laced Kool-Aid will immediately become butthurt. And then they will engage in all sorts of name-calling, insults, and telling you that you're an enemy of black people. And this is where, what this sister asked me, really the crux is right here. Because as I said to Negroes oftentimes, if you're going to tell me that my opinion makes me an enemy of black people, then by default I have to conclude that your opinion and what you're saying makes you the defender of black people. And all I want for some Negro to do is answer me, who died and left you in charge to where your opinion is the barometer for blackness? Who done that? What is the process? I want to understand it. Because just because we disagree and we don't see eye to eye on a certain topic, don't make me an enemy of black people and don't make you right about black people. But for some odd reason, the Negro don't get this. And so what they will do is they will engage in endless name calling and insults. And when the Negro is engaging in this, he's doing this because he says that this person's opinion makes them an enemy of black people. Meanwhile, and this is again the crux of what this sister was asking me, how does an opinion become the crux, the enemy of black people? An opinion. And you are disagreeing with this person's opinion by sharing your opinion. You're giving them your opinion on their opinion. And what did they say? Opinions are like what? Everybody has one. But for some odd reason, the Negro, I'm telling you, it's this Negro. He cannot tolerate different opinions. He just can't do it. Especially when those different opinions fly in the face of him being a professional victim. He really has a problem with those opinions. And he goes after those opinions with such a zeal. So then it becomes logical that anyone who is thinking and has a brain and can see this for what it is, they have to ask themselves, wait a minute, let's put a break on this. Stop. You're telling me that this person's opinion, their opinion now, on a given topic is the reason why you make a YouTube page and fill it up with videos attacking their opinion, declaring war on their opinion. Their opinion is such a damaging opinion to black people. An opinion, as I said this in other videos, an opinion that has never sold dope to a black person. An opinion that has never raped a black female. An opinion that has never took a loaded pistol and pointed it at another black person and pulled the trigger. An opinion that don't stand up in a pulpit and exploit women every Sunday. An opinion that does not have corner stores dotting your community that exploits your women. This is what this person's opinion has not done. But you attack it and you say that this is the chief problem in the black community. Meanwhile, time out. You have everything that I just mentioned going on in the black community. Right in front of your face. And you black men don't address it. How serious do you really think we should take you? You have a black church sitting on every corner in the black community. Some of them sit side by side. When you look at the level of exploitation that takes place in these institutions, and if you don't believe me, all you have to do is right here on YouTube. Just type in the search bar, black pastors, black church, and you will see the plethora of YouTube videos that people have made discussing the exploitation of black pastors. It's right here on YouTube. You don't have to go far. And I've told you in other videos, it's well documented. It's not a secret. You have these men in these pulpits who are manipulating and pimping your black women. And you brothers who say that y'all are concerned about black folk, you are pro-black, back to Africa, red, black, and green, Negro. You're pouring out libations to your ancestors. You don't mention Africa and call it Africa. You done became so engulfed in your blackness that you call it a Kibalon. You call it the original name. We ain't gonna call it Africa. That was mentioned ain't after a white explorer. This is where you at. But you don't take the time to address these men in your community right in front of your eyes, brother. And what this sister asked me is, why won't black men stand up and deal with this? And what I told her is what I'm going to tell y'all, and what I've said in many of my videos, and it had made black men butthurt. And I told her, this is not all black men, but it is a sizable portion of them. They are cowards. This is the reason why they will not take the time to address the real hard-hitting issues in their community. And I made mention numerous times about these foreign-owned stores, and actually this is a great segue into my announcement about my private video. Because I'm doing a private video on why white black women love Arab men. Because me and this sister talked about that as well. And this sister has a friend who is a member of the same sorority as she. And she talked about the stories that her friend tells her while she works in one of these. It's not one of those corner stores, it's one of those clothing stores. Y'all know them, they're in y'all community, where they have these knockoff clothes. You know, they go to New York and buy the knockoff purses and the knockoff Air Jordans and knockoff this and the knockoff that, and then they come to your community and sell it to you. And this is where this sister works. This sister works in one of these clothing stores where they're selling you knockoff name brand merchandise. Because this is how much they respect you. And again, the same type of exploitation that takes place in these stores is the same that goes on in those grocery stores. And again, black men know about it. It's not a secret. And I'm going to deal with all of this in depth in that private video. Because I dare not address this in a public video. It has to be private. I'm going to explain to you beyond a reasonable doubt why black women gravitate towards Arab and Lebanese men. Indian guys too. Private video, you know the routine. Send me an email, I'll send you the link. But now back to this subject here. Black men refuse to stand up and become men in their own communities. And this is one of the reasons why black women quietly don't have no respect for black men. I don't care what she say. She don't respect you. How could she? And not how could she, why should she? When you would spend all of your time attacking another black man, I mean all the time that you spend attacking a black man for his opinion. And there's nothing wrong with having a difference of opinion. As I told you, that can be helpful, that can be fruitful, because you can learn if you engage the person. Hey brother, this is the way I see it. And you said this or that, and I disagree with you. And in the course of a dialogue, I can tell you, well, this is why I say this, and this is why I say that. And you can come back and you know what, I never thought about it that way. I see what you're saying. What material have you read that helped you develop this position? Where did you get them? What books did you read? What information? It could be a fruitful dialogue. But because black men, for the most part, have been reared by single mothers, single black women, who, for the most part, again, don't know how to interact with black men. All you have to do is just go to a courthouse one morning and look at all the domestic violence cases that come up, and that should tell you that black men and women don't know how to conflict resolve, don't know how to disagree without being violently disagreeable. And because this single black mother cannot interact with her baby's daddies, because this single black mother cannot interact with her Johns, she has passed that along to her son. The same type of interaction, yelling and screaming, that's not communication. Communication consists of, while you talking, I'm listening. And when I'm talking, you're listening. I don't cut you off, you don't cut me off. I'm not seeking just to make a point. I want to listen to understand what you're saying so that you can understand what I'm saying, and maybe we can work this thing out. But if you just want to make your point and get all your points in, and then it will come down to my turn to talk, you want to keep interrupting me, that's not communication. If every time you want to confront me, it's always hostility, you don't know how to come to me and say, look, man, let me holler at you for a minute. Let's rap. Black men don't know how to do that. And the reason why they don't know how to do that is because they never see their mother do it. This is the reason why you will find that black men constantly beef with other black men. Look at them on YouTube. If you don't believe me, just look at them. Because men are men who understand, listen, that's your opinion. I got my opinion. We're not going to see eye to eye on this. You know what it is what it is. You go your way, I go mine. On this subject, we just not going to agree. We just going to have to agree to disagree. But black men will not do this. Black men will sit back and they will violently go after other black men who they disagree with. Meanwhile, as the sister asked me in the email, you have true exploiters. People who are engaging in the exploitation of not only your community, but your women. This is the reason why they don't respect you, brother. They have no respect for you. Because you notice they don't bring their women around your black ass. You don't even see their women. You will never find one of their women in those stores because they don't want you hollering at their women. It's okay for them to holler at your women right in front of you, disrespecting you, patting them on the ass, cracking lewd jokes with them right in your presence, brother, and you stand there. And then you wonder why black women don't respect you. Because you too busy got your face buried in a YouTube camera beefing with another brother that you don't even know. Meanwhile, right there in your hood, brother, your women, your sisters, your aunts, your mother is being exploited right and left, mistreated, ran up in, right there in your community. And you as a black male don't say one fucking word about it. Not one. But you got so much to say about somebody's opinion. I'm declaring war on your opinion. But you can't declare war on black pastors who have AIDS and sleep with women of the congregation without using protection. You won't declare war on that. I didn't hear anyone declare war on Bishop Eddie Long, who got tired of sleeping with the women of his church, so he started sleeping with their sons. I haven't heard no one cook or roast a black pastor who lives out in the suburbs driving a Lamborghini, like those brothers on Preachers of LA. Meanwhile, you got folk in their congregation who don't even know where their next meal is going to come from. And you brothers sit here and want me to take you serious as concerned about your black community? Come on, man. Get away from me with that shit. This is the reason why no one takes you serious. This is the reason why no one will engage you in a serious debate or conversation. Because you make no sense. You have taken people's opinion and elevated that as if that's the major problem in the black community. Meanwhile, y'all don't say nothing about this exploitation. It's well documented. If you don't believe me, type it right here on YouTube. Type it right in YouTube. Black pastors, the black church, black exploitation in the black church. Type it in there. And you will see endless video after video after video. People saying the same thing. It's well documented. Everybody knows about it. You even know about it. But you don't have the nuts to take a stand in your local community and deal with it. Because you're too busy beefing with somebody about their opinion. This is the reason why they don't respect you. This is the reason why not only do black women not respect you, but those foreigners who come into your community and trick with your women, they have no respect for you, dude. None. None. None at all. They'll sit here and run through your women. And they keep their women far removed from your black ass. She can't even come in that store and drop him off lunch. He will starve before he'll allow his woman to come in your neighborhood and walk into that store with a bunch of y'all to bring him something to eat. I'll starve. I'll eat some of these chips, some of these stale chips that I'm selling these niggas. But I don't want you coming to this store. No, because he don't respect you, dude. He don't even want you looking at his woman. But you don't have no problem with him. And I'm going to deal with all this in the private video now because I feel myself, and I have to catch myself sometimes because I have to back up, pull my foot off the pedal and pump those brakes because that's going to be saved for the private video on why black women love Arab men. But I will close this video with this. For those of you Negroes, and this is what I told the sister. So for those of you Negroes who don't believe that it's your mothers and your grandmothers and your sisters, your girlfriends who are being exploited in these churches, then what I would offer you is this. And this is real simple. This is how you know. If any female in your family or female that you deal with attends one of these churches, and if she's a member of that church, she is required to pay a tithe. Not from her take-home pay, from her gross. And there's a big difference. We don't want the tithe, the 10% coming from your take-home. Fuck that. We want that 10% right off the top. We want it from your gross. So she's paying 10% of her gross to this church, to this pastor. And the church, even though it's in the neighborhood, in the hood, he doesn't stay there. He stays in a home that the church bought for him using your female's tithe, far removed in the suburbs. The automobile, bought by the church, paid for by again, the female that you know, her tithe. His wife's car, his wife's clothes, his children's clothes, everything, bought and paid for by the women in that church. That is what you call pimping. That's what you call exploitation. That's what you call skullduggery. But you Negroes don't have time to deal with this. You Negroes will bypass those churches. You will drive past them. You will walk past them. On your way home to set up your camera, to make a YouTube video to another black man that you don't know, arguing with him about his opinion. Meanwhile, when you walk past or drive past that church, your mother, your grandmother, your aunts, your sisters, your fiance, your girlfriends, or your wives is coming out that church from paying 10% to this pastor so that he can live a life of ease and luxury at her expense. And you sit there and you don't have anything to say about it. You sit there and you go into these corner-owned stores and they got these young girls in there, the young girls that you know. Some of your sisters, might be your mother, your aunts. And he's sitting in the back of the store with some of his friends and they're all talking in their language. So y'all don't know what they're saying. And she's running the store. And you standing there because you want a Black and Mild or some other cigarillo, some other garbage, or you got a 40 ounce, or you trying to sell some of your food stamps. And you sit there because you cool with that. You don't try to organize no kind of boycott. You don't try to get and raise the consciousness and deal with the fact that, listen, we got all these churches. And if these churches will pull their resources, we can create businesses. We can create and open those stores for ourselves and hire some of our own people, hire our own children to work in those stores. We ain't got to worry about this exploitation. We ain't got to worry about these guys hiring these women to trick with them. But see, you ain't got time for that. Y'all ain't got time for that. Y'all don't have time to deal with the real issues because you Negroes are too busy beefing and creating drama on social media with other black men that you don't even know. but you don't deal with the exploitation in your own community, and then you wonder why your black female don't respect you. You wonder why those Arabs and those foreigners who run those stores talk to you like you trash when you go in their store, but you think he's cool. Oh, he's cool. He just, oh, that's my boy, because he gave you a little off on a 40 ounce. This is what y'all put up with. And this is what I told the sister. The reason why these brothers will not take a stand in their local communities is because most of them are cowards. They have no nuts. But I'm going to deal with that and a lot more in that private video. Like I said, I'm going to deal with why these sisters gravitate towards these Arab and Lebanese guys. If you want the link, send me an email. I'll ship it out to you. This is going to be a classic, because at the end of the day, it is what it is.